Hello and welcome to another W3schools lesson about Python. Today's lesson will be about Python comments. If you want to follow along or code along, just go to the W3schools/Python domain and you could start. So I'll just go over, read this. So it says comments can be used to explain Python code. Comments can be used to make the code more readable. And comments can be used to prevent execution when testing code. So in order to make a comment, you have to start. There are two ways. One of the ways, or the simplest way, is to use a hash, a pound mark, before a string. And then Python will ignore the comment, or will ignore the code. So let's try it here. So we'll run this. Okay, and you can see here it says hello world. It's printing hello world, and it's ignoring this part here. This is a comment. If I remove the comment and I run it, or the hash mark, it throws an error. So Python is trying to interpret this is a comment as syntax, and it's saying that it's throwing an error saying that it's invalid syntax. So to get rid of the error and to turn this into a comment, you put a pound mark or a hash mark. Okay, the error goes away. Let's go to the next example here. So comments can be placed at the end of a line, and Python will ignore the rest of the line. So you see here the function print hello world, and then you have this comment at the end of the line. So let's try it. You notice how it's ignoring this string here because there's a hash mark. Let's run it. Okay, I'm going to remove the pound mark, pound symbol. And again, we have the same error. It's saying that it's invalid syntax. So Python is trying to interpret this string as syntax, but it doesn't show up as valid syntax. So it says invalid syntax. So again, to get rid of the error, just put a pound mark, and it goes away. Now in the first example, this comment was at the top, so you could put it at the top and run it, and again it doesn't throw an error. You can also put it here, and it won't throw an error. You could put it here, and it won't throw an error. But the one place you cannot put it is before the line. So if I put it here, right before the actual code that you want to run, or that you want Python to interpret, it will interpret the entire line as comment if you put the pound here. Okay, so let's try that. Waiting. Okay, it's not showing anything because there's nothing to show, right? Python just can't interpret this, or doesn't interpret this as a syntax anymore. So if you remove this, then it can interpret the print keyword or function, and it prints hello world. Okay, let's now try the next one. Okay, a comment does not have to be text that explains the code. It can also be used to prevent Python from executing code, which is what we just did, right? I put the hash mark here, and it stopped the print function from running. Just show you again. So here they're showing you, right? They're putting a hash mark before print, and it's preventing this code from executing. There's no hello world, right? you just see cheers mate. So running it, see cheers mate, right? Now if we remove the hash, then we see hello world. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back, run it, and it goes away. So Python won't interpret this print function if there's a hash mark. Okay, let's go to the next example. Multi-line comments or multi-line comments. Okay, so Python does not really have a syntax for multi-line comments. To add a multi-line comment, you could insert a hash for each line. So you see here there's multiple lines and each line has a hash. Now there is a way to have multi-line comments without putting a hash in front of each line, and I'll show you soon, but just to show you this example here, let's run it. So they have several lines here, and each line they've put a hash in front of in order to indicate to Python that it's a comment. You can try this on your own. Let's try another one. So line 1, line 2. By the way, you can put a space if it makes it easier for you to read. You can make a hash, right? Line 3 or line 4, or sorry, line 3, and then print something new. Okay, let's run that. So something new shows up, right? And we have multi-line comments. Can you put 2 hashes in front? Let's see what happens. Line 4. Yeah, so you only need 1 hash mark. You don't need to have more than 1, but you could if you wanted to. Okay, so let's go to the next example. So if you really want to have, so suppose you have a situation where you have like a lot of text, right, that you want to comment out. So in order to do that, you can use 3 double quotation marks, right? 3 double quotes in a row. So you can enclose this text. So if you had a paragraph of text, you could enclose it in 3 double quotes in a set of 3 triple double quotes or 3 double quotes. Yeah. So let's try that. Okay, so here you can see there's 3 double quotes, and you have 3 lines here. And then it says print hello world. Let's run that. Okay, hello world shows up. Let's see what happens if we just put 2. I'll type it out again just to, okay. Run it. Okay, so in this case, right, because we didn't put 3 double quotes, we only put 2. Okay, Python is interpreting this as, it's trying to interpret this as a comment as syntax, Python syntax, but it's not. It doesn't exist. I mean, it might read it. Like, suppose if I wrote here, print okay, this is a comment. I'm going to comment out this here. Comment out that. And I'll run that. Okay, see how the error went away? There's no more invalid syntax error because print is valid syntax. So it's able to interpret this and there's no error. But if I put, say, print with 2 T's, so there's an error. It says here, So the name error, print is not defined. The reason why it's not invalid, it's not throwing an invalid syntax error is because a user, so for example, you could write a function called print, print, and that's why it's saying here print is not defined. Print with a double T is not defined. Okay. So yeah, I mean, of course, you could. There's other functions. There's other syntax in Python that is not a function. So I'm not going to go into that now, but that's why it throws invalid syntax error. But yeah, the point of this is I'm not going to go into all this detail right now, but it's just to show you about the comments here. The point of this lesson is about comments. So I'll put this back like that. I'll add a third double quote, run it. Okay, the error goes away. Now, what if we used single quotes? Because in some languages, single quotes and double quotes have the same effect. So I'm just curious what's going to happen. Oh, okay. Interesting. So single quotes and double quotes can be used as a way to comment multi lines. Okay. So imagine you had like a large amount of text. Like, let me just see if I can grab some text here. Let me. Okay, I have this paragraph of random text. Just one sec here. I'll just use this, okay? So I'll take this line. Okay. Imagine you had to put you had a million lines of text that you had to put into your code. Like, you know, at the beginning of code, often you have like a warning, copyright warning. This code is copyright and so on. So you could just go like that. And that would allow you to put this entire huge multi-line comment, bunch of comments into your code without having any errors. Let's try it again. And it works, okay? So just to recap here, you can use single quotes or double quotes, okay? 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. Let's go to the next one. Okay, as long as the string is not assigned to a variable, Python will read the code, but it will ignore it, and you have made a multi-line comment. Okay. So as long as it's not assigned to a variable. Okay, let's try this. So you can try this. I suggest you go over all these on your own, and I'll just do one of these exercises. So comments in Python are written with a special character. Which one? Which one is it? A hash, right? Okay, let's submit the answer. Correct. Okay. So I'll let you try this out on your own and then go over the exercises also. And yeah, in the next video, I'm going to be going over variables and then data types, numbers, and so on. So thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.